It is already a form of currency in a sense that I know that I don't want to give this company my email, but I want something from them. Whether it's a free subscription for a month, even signing up to services like Google. Like I'm not paying Google, but I can use their services. And I'm paying for it somehow. Paying for it somehow. I just don't know how I'm paying it.
Someone was doing a study and they were saying that they're trying to figure out a way how to feed us ads as we sleep. As we're sleeping, it's this thing that will help us dream of the ads. At the same time, they're trying to make money off your sleep, which is, it's too much. This kind of thing is just too much.
Without adequate safeguards, there's more of a risk of the way the data is collected to erode civil liberties, but also to entrench discrimination, right? I mean, and it can be easily weaponized. This is part of the issue. Like even, for example, like social media use or what you're consuming is already being weaponized against people traveling to places like the US.
So I think if and when your digital footprint determines where you can go physically in the world and where you can't go and where you're excluded from, then that is a ramping up. It's not absolutely new, but it's a ramping up of the kinds of forms of exclusion that have long existed in other ways.
I think the dystopian future is when the government uses technology to then surveil people. I think with billionaires doing it or like big tech doing it, it's not as dangerous as if the government does it because they can actually incarcerate you for something that you thought you got away with. Yeah. I think my dystopian future is dark UX in government.
We're already seeing how activities online and digital footprints are being weaponized by governments to then attack or discriminate against people engaging on specific issues.
So I think it's really dangerous that algorithms are being used to build up detailed personal profiles of people. My view on this is slightly different from the one that I hear most often, which is that it's scary how much they know about you. I mean, I agree with that up to a point. I think what's more scary is that they think they know more about you than they really do. I think a lot of those profiles that are built up of people are erroneous, they're biased, they're based on ill-informed judgments.
I worked on this project and the tech that they were testing was to preempt crime before crime happens. We have cameras everywhere. So if we plug it into AI and try to discern if there's any violence that's going to happen. So for example, there's two people talking. If you read their body language, then is it possible to determine that, a fight is going to happen so we can send police? No. It sounds great because they packaged it as a safer Singapore. But then if that actually happens, then, not whatever that is not a crime, you can actually be, I don't know,
with movies like Black Mirror and things like that where they talk about the dystopian world, there's a little part of me going, don't give people ideas. I don't know whether you've watched the show, but it's called The Handmaid's Tale. That is messed up on its own. But actually, if you really think about it, you're like, it's not impossible. Like, it's not that far away because you can genuinely see some countries already trying to apply it. I feel the movies are giving people too many ideas.
My concern going forward would be that, for example, people who have a digital footprint of having engaged with or searched specific issues in relationship to a genocide could then be deported, for example, if those countries deem that to be a national security issue. And I have concerns that obviously then tech giants would be then collaborating with governments to erode civil liberties by sharing some of that information without users understanding how their engagement with big tech companies and the platforms that they create could then lead to that information being weaponized by governments.
I definitely think there's a real risk that we will be looking back in 10, 20 years' time and seeing a real problem with DNA-based data being misused, being used in all sorts of ways that were not originally intended.
Your data generally is priceless. I'm not just talking about your digital footprint. I'm not talking about your address or your name. People do DNA and heritage testing so commonly now, but they don't realize that it's your DNA. People can do anything they want to your DNA. The DNA company, a couple of months ago, they went bankrupt. If you actually think about it, everyone who is sending their DNA, then like, what's going to happen? You're going to sell your DNA. It will be some form of currency, some way, somehow. Just give like the scammers, hackers, whatever they are, like enough, or the government enough time, they'll figure the shit out. I'm like, some bio warfare. I'm like, eventually you're all gonna drop dead because they did some bio warfare thing with your DNA, and the rest of us who didn't get tested, we'll be like,